All right, guys, what is up? Eric here, Traveling Trading back at it again. Wrapping up another week. We're in the second week of 2023. Um, really good week. Well, not really good week, but it's all right week. I mean, I made it out. I'm pretty much over COVID right now, feeling a little bit, feeling much better than I did last week. It didn't start out that way, but hey, we're back at it full, force here. Keep in mind, MLK, weekend is upon us, so market won't be open on Monday. We got a 4-day weekend next week. Is going to be a short week. But yeah, let's go ahead and wrap up these trades. I just want to recap this stuff here for you guys, but I also want to point out some good key points for you guys to know to kind of keep in mind in your trades in the future that I already kind of go over in the course too, but I want you to kind of just, reiterate it here to kind of make it make sense to you again. That I, all the points that I talk about, but you'll see how it played out in one of my and pretty much my best trade that I did this week, which was the last minute here today. So, but it ended on a good note. Great, great week here. We'll add up the total, how many thousands we profited this week, and just kind of go from there. All right. But let's just make this quick so we can kind of maximize our time this weekend. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So APGM was my first trade of the week. Traded that one on the 9th. Let me go back here to it real quick while I'm loading it up here. And this one wasn't, an amazing trade. It's actually my worst trade of the week because I went red on this trade. We didn't have any swing trades this week. Again, it was a slow week. To be honest with you, we may not have no swing trades next week, especially since it's a short week, depending on how things looking. Market's been iffy. CPA data come out this week. Things were slow, so we'll see. But anyways, let's get into APGM. Anyways, we got this alert here, pre-market, blah, blah, blah. And, to be honest with you, maybe if I would have been a little patient, I could have recovered. But for those of you who, are in the course and have been trading for a while, that's a no-no. And I'm not waiting that long to get, to recuperate any losses. But let's go ahead into this trade. I got in this trade here at 209. So this is pretty much the 9th here, and this is pre-market, right? I kind of had to just cut my losses because this thing was it was just a horrible trade. Now, obviously, it was on my radar from, before being, a good mover throughout the day. So came watching it into pre-market, right? I got taken out big time. Oops, sorry. Let me get the chart right first here. So this is why it was on the radar. All right. This is from last week where, it spiked up, ended pretty good. So obviously, I'm going to be watching it here. Pre-market, it made some decent moves. Wasn't much volume. But, it kept going from green to red, coming off of the week. So, you know, kind of keep an eye on it. Boom, market opened, bell opened. I pretty much got snagged like right up in there. So my thing was I was expecting to just ride the wave on this one. And that trade that I did, if you guys know that strategy, even though I ended up red, I'm very proud that I just disciplined myself and stuck with the plan because it could have gotten a lot worse. Um, it was a 15% loss, which is okay. That was within my risk tolerance. Those of you at the course know what my tolerance is and what I shoot for. Um, but yeah, so I got in at 209. This thing just pretty much stalled out and then tanked. I didn't want to hold this too long because the way the market was looking, plus how I was feeling, I was still coming up for COVID. And like I tell you guys, you shouldn't really trade when you're sick. It's just like a no-no. I kind of was doing a mixture of, boredom, but also too needing to do things and I can't really go nowhere because of COVID. So, but, took the trade, took the loss, and then I just said, you know what, stop. Don't try to go back in there and, force any of the trades. That's a sign that I needed to stop for the day. So that was pretty much it. And I'm glad I took it because look at this. It just, dragged on out and dragged on out and got worse and got worse, more and more and more so. So nothing you can do about that. Sometimes you're just wrong about the trade. But again, because of the strategy that I trade for myself that I use, I got in and got out and stuck to the plan. Fine. Live the trade another day. Happens. I just got caught. Sometimes you get caught with your pants down, and I got caught with my pants down right there at 209, chasing it, and it still had some room to run. I did have time to exit, but I was, my target wasn't there. My target was more along the lines of the next dollar level, to be honest with you, hoping it would run. But hey, it's okay. On to the next trade. So now at that point, Monday comes, I'm down 155 bucks on that trade, but it's all right because come, you know, January 10th, next day, SHC, we get that alert. I pull up the trade. Let me pull it up here. And this one was a fairly simple but short trade because of the fact that it's in the teens dollar amounts, and I know that when I'm trading stocks that are in the teens, that I can, you know, I got a little bit more. I got a little bit more. I would say wiggle room. It's higher risk and higher reward, especially if I'm still trading like 500 shares of it, which I typically, do, which is fine. So let's take a look at this bad boy here. I got an SHC at 16.19, and I only took like a 10% gain. Well, it was like 9.8%. It was like just under 10%, but it was a $700 profit. You know, I didn't want to get too greedy, especially, I came off of another bad trade. You want to come into the next trade the next day, your mind fresh. You don't want to let that, alter anything. Um, and then again, with this trade here, I got in 619 opening bell, so pretty much integrate. That's why I was on our radar. I was already on the watch list. Pre-market happened, boom, boom, it's dropping. So obviously you're putting it on the back burner, you're not looking at it if you're a bullish trader. Now it's crossing the VWAP. It's in a bullish territory. Towards the end of the pre-market, it starts to trending up. You guys notice a lot of times that happens with a lot of stocks. And what do they usually do? They'll dump at the open, but then have that ability to, run again. Now, obviously, if it does something like that, what am I waiting for? This is a easy telltale sign of what I'm going to be looking for here at this point, guys. So looks good, right? Looks good. Yeah, you got movement here, you got movement here. But what am I looking for? It's the opening bell. Stock is, it's where it's at. It's, in the 14, 15s. It's not, it's doing okay, but it's not like pumping. It's hitting the walls here at $16. What I'm looking for, guys, is basically for it to break a previous level of resistance. Not necessarily just so much pre-market, but I wanted to see it break this level of resistance here. Hence why I didn't get into it until around 619, which was around that time where it broke and you started to see like the green come in, which was like right around here where I got into this green candle. Got in it green, and then at that point, I wanted to just let the EM. It was trending. Look at where it's at this point, right? Where from 6:30 to almost an hour into the opening bell, this is forming a trend. You got movement between like the squeeze pro indicator and moving average convergence divergence is just showing you right there. So you got time. Obviously, if it's doing that amongst that much time, it's trending. It's trying to trend. So if the trend continues and it breaks that previous resistance, what am I going to do? I'm going to ride that trend, right? Obviously, until the trend begins to change. Now, again, I'm coming off my bad trade I had yesterday, fresh in the market. I just want to get some gains. Again, got in like pretty much like 1619 was a pretty good entry, at that point. And again, it was getting close to breaking the highs. So pretty much got in that bad boy along that little green and then just rode it on up. There was no reason to exit this trade. It never showed signs of, turning. And now here it is. It's just trending up, trending up, trending up, trending up. And then when it begins to grind, that's when I'm starting to say, okay, you know what? Might be time to let off. And I got my Vortex indicators, kind of telling me, hey, trend is about to change. Might want to switch it up. If you want to let it establish support or just risk, taking what you got. So depending on what you want to do, however you trade. But that's pretty much how I approached that trade. So SHC was pretty easy. But hopefully you guys kind of understand that part. If you look at the stock, it's on your radar, you're watching on a watch list, it's beginning to trend. Hey, and trending, guys, it's not like something, it's not a momentum. Like a trend is going to happen over time. You're going to have movements in and out of the stock as time is going on. If it's not falling, especially when the moving averages are turning, if it's not falling, then there's no point of exiting. It's trending, and then ride the trend. If you happen to get at the end of the trend, just cut your loss. You were obviously wrong, so move on. Just cut your loss and move on to the next thing. Pretty simple. Now the next trade after that was BIOR. Sorry, obviously, it freezes because of the fact that I'm recording. Hence why I don't like recording and all that good stuff while I'm trading. But anyways, um, yeah, BIOR got in there on the 10th. What day is this? Let's go back to the 10th where things was popping on. Of course, we got the alert. I'm not going to tell you how we found these stocks, guys. We finding them on the alerts. And when I start streaming the scanner for you guys, it'll probably make it a little bit more easier. But the reason why I don't stream the scanner really is because the scanner picks up a lot more things than the alerts do. And the alerts are like more accurate as far as what is actually, moving. But scanners can sometimes, depending on the sensitivity of it and how you program it, can be, a lot of information at once. And it really isn't really ideal for you. Why do you guys think I only trade like one or two stocks a day? You need to be precise with your stuff. You don't need to be all over the place. More trades isn't going to make you a better trader. It's not how it works. Time in the market, not repetition, especially wrong repetition. But understand that. Anyways, BIOR got in this bad boy at 490, got 13% gain. So with SHC, I had like a almost $800 gain. It was like 795. BIOR 325, but 13% gainer. In fact, aside from the trades for today, BIR was my best trade because it was a 13% gain. All right. Got in at 490, which was during pre-market, and I got out. I wasn't trying to, be greedy, but anyways, you do what you. I'm sorry, not pre-market. You do what you got to do to bank it. I remember I was trading this one here, guys, and I got in. I was so happy I got in where I got in because it was like almost textbook setup for me. So let me pull it up here real quick. Pull up the chart 490. And I was a little upset because of the fact that when I did trade it, it was like after hours. So I pretty much had to wait for that one and just kind of get in and get out. So let me load it up here on the 10th, 490. Let me show you where I got into that little bit of a break there. So first of all, it was already on our radar, right? Because this thing trended pretty well. Power hour. For those of you that got in, great. Those of you that didn't, it's worth the watch. Anyways, so my average in that bad boy is 490, took 13% of left. So um, this trade here was pretty quick because of the fact that I didn't want to hold it like too long, especially since I figured I would be catching it on the tail end of the trend. And let me just a second. The missus is texting me real quick, guys. Let me respond to her because she is getting up for work too. All right. No, I'm not. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So got in this bad boy and got out right before the bell opens. You guys know I mean, before the bell closes. You guys know I don't like to hold through market changes from like no market hours until you know after hours, et cetera, et cetera. I wish I would have because look, this thing, man, I could have doubled my money easily. And I said that in the Facebook group. But anyways, got in at 490 and got out right before the bell, closed, which was like up here in the 560s. Pretty simple. If you're getting in, trends happening, let the trend play out before key points of possible turns in the market, which of course is, you know, after hours, et cetera, et cetera. And I do apologize, guys. I was wrong. I said, hey, I wouldn't recommend holding this bad boy into the after hours because it could be dropping. Volume dies. It's going to be risky to get it executed. Boy, was I wrong. Look at this. Thing went all the way to freaking $8. I could have doubled my money easily, but I only took 13%. I ain't going to be mad. A win's a win, right? A win is a win. But $325 there, can't complain. Let's move on to the next day. We had BBAI. Now with BBAI, 7% gain, you know, $3.49 is where I got in. And this was on the 12th. So let me pull this up. I don't know if you guys are kind of like catching this trend. And I'm going to cover this a lot more in the risk management section of the advanced trading course about, just kind of measuring your risk. But if you notice, like with my trades, guys, I'm not hitting home runs. I'm not getting hundreds and 200% get. I mean, every now and then you might see me do it, but you know, on average, I'm not really trying to be greedy, guys. I'm just get in, get a little bit, get on to the next one, get as much of the move as I can, and then move on. Some of you guys I be seeing you like holding on to hope, wanting to nail the top, wanting to enter in at the bottom. Why? You got all that range in between. There's no point, But eventually, you'll come to accept that as a trader. You're not going to nail the top. You're not going to nail the bottom. If you do, it's going to be very, very rare. But just want to throw that out there. But anyways, got in at 349. Where was this bad boy? What day did we do? The 12th, right? My apologies. All right, so here we are, pre-market. Oh yeah, I only trade this thing in pre-market. Um, Let me load it up here. 349. Why is it freezing? Okay, there we go. Come on. All right. So anyways, got the alert. Got in right on the green. Now, obviously, I'm not going to hold it. You guys know. Into pre-market. It was pretty simple. It's just it wasn't no reason for me to just try to force a trade. And I'm glad I got out because look what could have happened. And I think I said this could have ended badly if I didn't stick to my plan. You guys know my rules. I'm not going to hold it between the opening bell because I suck at that. And I panic sell, whatever, et cetera, et cetera. But anyways, got in 349, just took a little bit of gain. It was only a small little, 7% gain, but it was, $135. Can't be mad. That was it for the day. I did nothing else. That was my quick little in and out of the day. I watched a little bit and then I just moved on about my day. Wasn't no point, which I'm glad because remember, understanding the market conditions is very important, guys. This happened, what day was this? So the 11th, I didn't trade on the 11th. This was the 12th. And I think CPI, Consumer Price Index, CPI data was coming out. And the market was slow. I mean, beyond slow. I wasn't going to force a trade. It just is dumb. Like, don't do that. And I was just being patient. Or was it the 11th that the CPI data was out? One of those days. Anyways, we're coming off of that. We were coming off of that or coming into that. And I was like, I'm not going to take a chance. It's okay to just sit back, watch the market react to the way it's going to react. You can use other things like options data and stuff like that to kind of help predict where the market could possibly get. But until you get the results, there's no point in waiting. So I'm just going to wait and let things play out. And that's what I pretty much did. I took what I could get, wasn't going to force it, and left. If you wonder why I made that decision, that's why I made that decision. Understand the overall market conditions. You're not going to be bigger than the market. Hate to tell you. You're a little fish in the big pond, all right? And then lastly, let's go to today. Oh, okay, with BBI, that was a $135 gain if I didn't mention that. If you're adding them up as I go along, we'll calculate the total gains at the end of the week here. It wasn't as stellar as last week, no $10,000 trades and like that, but it was a pretty decent day today. But HTGM and JSPR guys, you guys probably seen in the post that I was trading these both at the same time. Rarely will you see me trading two trades at the same time, but I had to because one, they were both kind of going off, and I'm like, okay, let me just kind of try to divide my attention between these two. I'm not going to do like 3 or 4 trades at once. That's just too much. I don't have that much of a attention span, to be honest with you. But got in HTGM at 660. I was hesitant because of the fact that it was like, halting a little bit, but I was just kind of measuring like from the risk to reward from where it was at. It was at $5, when it started to even like make moves. So I'm okay with that, loss if I needed to take one. But with HTGM, I just took a small little 7% gain again. 7 has been like my lucky number for the past few trades, but as far as percentage gains wise. But yeah, I got in at 660 and then just took a little small gain and just left. There was no point of trying to hold on and hope. Let me zoom in for you guys so you can see it a little bit easier. Right here, 660. Now, obviously, again, coming off the whole, I'm like, I'm not going to want to, not going to want to press my luck, so to speak. But also, too, you can tell that the moving averages was converging and Vortex indicator was starting to say, hey, it's catching up. Movement in the EMA is starting to let up. It's bouncing on the line. So obviously, volume and selling power is coming in to get executed. Not going to stick around for too much longer. Doesn't make sense. But anyways, got in, got out. It tried to break. I thought it was going to, I was waiting. Another thing too with it, I was watching level 2. It broke 7. That's fine. But I wanted to not only just break, but kind of stay steady. But the orders of buyings were coming off, and sellers was coming off, or sellers were coming in. And I was like, yeah, let me go ahead and just take this. That's why I got out of the trade. I had a plan in mind to stay in it, provided it was showing me reasons to stay in it, but it didn't, and also too that it wasn't going to break the EMA. And it begins to just kind of bounce along. So I said, I'm not going to risk it. It's Friday the 13th. Let's not take that chance. Now, simultaneously, while this was going on, I was also looking at JSPR. Now, imagine trying to watch both of these at the same time. It was really tough. With JSPR, I can't remember which one I got in first, if it was JSPR or if it was HTGM. I think it was JSPR, but it probably was because I got in this one at 224. And this one was a 21% gainer for me. Now, it was only $240, but it made a big move. Okay. Getting it at 224 was a really good level for me because it was like just right at the EMA and exponential, the VWAP and the exponential moving average crossing each other, the golden cross. And simultaneously as that golden cross is happening, it's starting to run. And not only that, Vortex indicators tell me it's trending up. So that's why I hopped in that bad boy. And you see where this thing ran up. So obviously this ran up to here, up to 270. And of course, you've seen where ACGM, and look at the longer time frames, they were pretty much around the same time. So I had to go ahead and take profits for both of them. I didn't want to take the chance. And you guys seen in the screenshot there that I went ahead and just took them, which I'm okay with. Perfectly fine. Okay. I think those are good trades simultaneously. I didn't wait for the turnaround on either one of them. I went ahead and took profits, 21% here, 7% here, both $240, both two different, pricings. So yeah, great trade. Lastly here, and the last one I want to talk to you guys about here, MOGL. Those of you that have the course, you kind of know what I talked to you about with IPOs, and this kind of was a prime example, okay? So let's kind of get into this bad boy here. Oh, let me load it up here. I'm gonna see if I can actually pull up the screenshot for you guys. That way you can see it as well. All right. Oh, MGOL. Sorry. Let me pull it up. Well, I'll just post them at the end of the video. You guys can look at them. But let's load it up here. So this bad boy IPO'd, right? Now, you guys know what I tell you about IPOs and the little dinosaur at the beginning of time. That's really funny. With IPO stocks, one, I showed you guys in the course how to find them, like the easiest way to really find that, what stocks are coming to IPO. If you don't already know about it, I mean, there's plenty of ways to do it. But anyways, first things first was understand that you have no history of how this stock is going to move, right? That's first thing. So I tell you 9 times out of 10 when stocks IPO, they're going to drop because sellers are trying to get their profits, who are private investors, and they're cashing out in the stock, which is, rightfully so what they do. They want to cash out on their investment and get their money's worth. Sorry, I was just picking up my charger. Phone's dying. So naturally it's going to drop. It kept halting. This thing halted like several different times. I got an MGOL at 1360. And this one was only like it was like a 22% gain, I believe, but it was a $1,500 profit. So the reason why that happened is because look at where 13 is at after the halts. There was several halts like right here and here and here and here. So at the time, I want you guys to understand, okay, of course, this is on the minute. What strategy would I use at this point? What strategy can I use at this point? For those of you that are like in the course, you should know what strategy I'm going to have to use on this IPO and entering it at this point. If you know, kudos. If you don't know, message me and ask me. Of course, if you don't have the course, I can't answer because you won't understand what I'm talking about. But got in 1360, and this thing rolled all the way up to $16. I grabbed my 22%, $1,500, and I cashed out. I started to cash out pretty much like right here with this little, spinning top candlestick right here. that might be my sell order actually. But so I didn't quite nail the top, which is fine. I mean, this thing ran all the way up to like almost $17. and I got in at 13. But that's not bad. So it was time to kind of let up and not really stick around. Vortex indicators showing that things are about to change. So bouncing along the EMA, might as well just go ahead and take your money. It's Friday, Friday the 13th. You know what, guys? I suck trading on Fridays. I don't usually trade on Fridays. Too many things going against me for me to try to even just be greedy at this point. So let me go ahead and just be safe. 20% is enough. I just wanted to hit an even $1,500 and call it a day. So that's pretty much what happened with that trade. Again, overall, not a bad week. Could have been better, but again, I'm coming off of COVID, so I'm not going to complain. Um, you know, only a couple $1,000 this week, you know, and that's nothing to be upset about. I've had better weeks. A little over 3,000, so $3,080 this week profits. Could have been better, but hey, we got next week. If you guys have any questions, message me. Let me know. Other than that, enjoy the weekend. I got a lot of stuff to do. Try to finish stuff up for you guys and work on getting this live stream and stuff like that going for you too that you guys want. So we got a lot of work to do. But anyways, I'll post this in the group and all that good stuff. I'll put some of it online if you want it. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. Hopefully you stayed green today. I know a lot of you guys in the chat room was green. That's great. But hopefully this gave you some insight. And you know what? I don't know how much more detail I can get into this, guys. I mean, it's it's IPO, simple, ride the wave strategy. I'm telling you what it is right now, so you know. But hey, get in, get out, get your money. Have a nice day. So hopefully you guys learned a little something again. But other than that, enjoy the weekend. $3,080 in profit. So we're at like 13,000 this week. This might be a $30,000 month, which is okay. Another little tip, guys: don't set goals, especially you new traders. And new traders, by new traders, I mean you've been in this market less than 5 years, or just in the market in general less than 5 years. Not necessarily this market, because you're in the shift of a market cycle for some of you guys. Well, for anyone that's entering at this point, this is the market cycle shift. We're going from to so you still got to learn, things. But yeah, don't set no goals. I'm just kind of basing off the trend here of the way I'm trading of what it could be. If it's not 30,000, that's fine. Remember, I still got to pay taxes and stuff like that. And again, this is January, so you guys who are, new to trading, go check out the video I did about trading and taxes. You're gonna need it. All right. So, but anyways, other than that, guys, y'all stay green. I got a lot of work to do, including other tax work and stuff like that, and other businesses I got to work on. But if you need anything, just let me know. Other than that, stay green.
All right, guys, you know the routine. If you enjoyed that video, please do us a favor, show some support and hit that like button. Give us that thumbs up. Let us know if you enjoyed this content. Comment below. Let us know your thoughts. We love hearing from you as well, too. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions about anything whatsoever. Be more than happy to help you out. Until then, stay green.